Transphobic boss threatened to fire me, IMMEDIETLY, after telling me how good my work was. So, to start, I am trans. MTF. I've been socially out and on HRT for 3 years. Point is, I look very feminine now. When I originally began working at company, I did not specify my gender at work. And after checking with my company's HR rep, who happens to be the boss's wife, I began dressing both feminine and masculine at work. I have done so on multiple occasions and have never been met with issue in the 1+ year I've worked there. Today I dressed femme, wearing a skirt coming down to just above the knee, and a long-sleeve shirt with a t-shirt over it. I also wore tall black socks that covered most of my legs, so the only skin you could see was my knee. I prefer dressing a bit more covered up. Just preference. Anyway, at the end of the day today, a few of us and the boss had to stay late to get SOMR stuff done. And during these after hours, we were still clocked in. My boss pulled me aside and insulted me, saying, "It looks like you're wearing a costume," then proceeded onto a 20-minute transphobic lecture about chromosomes and how you are a man. It doesn't matter what you dress up as. I attempted to let him know that this was in fact against the law to require me to wear masculine clothing. But in his words, "I can fire you anytime I want for anything I want." This is Florida, so IDK. I've been mocked at work before for my gender identity, so I've made a habit of turning on audio recording on my phone whenever I get pulled aside because I am always fearful of this. Is there anything I can do? I don't want to lose my job, but at the same time it feels horrible to be insulted and made fun at work for something I didn't choose to be. TLDR, boss is transphobic and threatened to fire me if I dress feminine. MTF for context. It's time to get a lawyer, chief. Like, really? He can fire you for no reason, but he can't fire you for being trans. This is straight up sexual harassment and needs to be investigated. I'm so sorry you are experiencing this. It's awful. Please stay safe. Sending positive vibes, support and big hugs, revolving hearts. Get a lawyer and do exactly as they say. Do not take legal advice from the internet. Unfortunately, Florida is a two-party consent state, which means your secret recordings are technically illegal and likely can't be submitted as evidence in court. You definitely need to see an attorney. A local LGBT resource center or advocacy organization is probably your best bet. Contact the EEOC. They'd be the people who investigate discrimination claims like this. It's a federal agency that will investigate and sue on your behalf. SCOTUS has already determined that gender identity is protected under Title VII of the Civil Rights Act. Do not trust HR. They are not on your side. Get with an employment lawyer ASAP. And shop around. Talk to multiple lawyers before committing. Get a lawyer who works on contingency. You only pay if you win, and they typically take their cut from the lawsuit winnings. Best of luck. To start with, I would recommend making copies of as much evidence you can regarding performance and transphobic statements. This includes past, ideally recent, reviews from your boss and evidence of pay raises or promotions. Keep these copies in your control. Whether personal email accounts or paper copies at home, do not rely on access to any work-controlled accounts or systems. From there, I would contact HR about the statements. Email with a CC to your personal address is good. Otherwise, keep a copy of your written message and a note about who you gave it to, mailed it, and when given. You have fairly strong protections and HR is fairly likely to jump on it. Florida is a two-party consent state. So you cannot record in-person conversations or phone calls if there is an expectation of privacy. You'll want an attorney's input to see if you can bypass this for a civil rights case. Some state laws allow such covert recordings. The reason for wanting everything documented is that it sets you up for a good retaliation case if your boss or company tries anything. The U.S. Supreme Court ruling in Bostock v. Clayton County 2020 made the Civil Rights Act apply to LGBTQ+ employees. If they do retaliate in any way, you then would file a claim to the EEOC. As an EEOC claim is free. Do this even if they seem to have a decent cover. This is required prior to any lawsuit, per the laws they cover, and is intended to be navigable without needing an attorney. Contacting a civil rights attorney for a consultation is not a bad idea. However, if you have the money, it's a decent idea to do now, as they may be able to assist with collecting documentation for a future case against your employer should they take action against you. If you win, either via the EEOC or a lawsuit, you can be awarded various mixes of lost wages, including benefits, forced reinstatement, punitive damages, including emotional harm, and legal fees. I too am a Florida resident and can tell you the bigotry and hate towards the trans community here is real. I'm sorry this happened to you, friend. You do have allies though. And just a heads up, Florida is a two-party consent state. I just did a quick Google search about recording laws in Florida. And you'll definitely want a lawyer to talk to you about those recordings before you try to show them to anyone else. It looks like Florida is a two-party consent state, meaning all parties of the conversation have to know the conversation is being recorded. Get you a lawyer up. This is blatant discrimination and employee intimidation. Hostile workplace. Get a lawyer. I think it's great that you're already doing audio recordings. That will really help if you ever need to take him to court for unfair dismissal. Sorry you have to deal with assholes all the time. Hope you're able to move on from that job to a better one at some point. Sorry to say that any audio recording without his permission won't be usable. Florida is a two-party consent state. I know because I've recorded some illegal happenings at my job too. Weird side story. Not in the USA. But I just recently went through a job change. And part of the onboarding process was asking for the preferred pronouns. I agree with the others here saying find a lawyer. But also, find a company that actually cares about people and who they are. Quit and sue him for discrimination and harassment. I can't comment on the work issue other than your boss is a total ass. I just wanted to affirm you and tell you that a total stranger is proud of you for living your truth. I'm sorry this happens. I hope you get the last laugh. We have your back. Stay strong. Be you. Don't submit. Know that you are supported and loved. Purple heart, blue heart, heart. I am a Florida attorney. I am not an enjoyment attorney, but I know several. If you'd like a referral, please DM me. Get your resume up to date and start applying for other work. Just in case. I know the idea of job seeking while trans is probably pretty daunting. But your boss is openly transphobic and is threatening to fire you for your gender identity. So I don't think looking for other work could be much worse than where you are now. Also, this sucks. And I'm sorry. You're clearly good at what you do. And you should be getting rewarded for your skills. Not punished for simply being yourself. Regardless of what the law may say in Florida, this is wrong and you deserve better.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.